look good. What is up, YouTube? Here I am with another video. I'm going to be talking today about loneliness and dealing with loneliness. Or not exactly. What I'm going to be talking about is the differences between loneliness and being alone, and how people, should deal with each one of them. When it comes to being alone, people look at being alone as you being a loser. People think that because you're alone that you're a loser. Or when people see you alone, like by yourself, they look at that as, okay, this person's a loser. Why are they alone? But that's not necessarily the case. There's a lot of people who are always by themselves, and that I'm talking about like successful people who are like always alone by themselves, and they, they're focused on themselves. There's a difference between loneliness and being alone. Being alone is you probably focusing and worrying about achieving goals. Loneliness is when you're not thinking about yourself. You're thinking about being with other people and feeling miserable without being around people. What you need to be doing is realizing that you can be happy with yourself by yourself. People are so worried about being seen out alone, or like, for instance, for example, in high school, that's when people are really fearing being alone. They don't want to sit at that lunch table by themselves. They don't want to be seen walking in the hallway by themselves. They don't want to be by themselves, period. And the thing is, the reason why is because you're when you're in high school, you're still finding yourself, so to say. So it's kind of hard to find yourself when you don't know where you fit in. And what you don't need to do is try to fit in somewhere. What you need to do is figure out the things that you like, things that you dislike. And sometimes you have to hang with different people to figure that out. And what I notice is sometimes it is really best to be alone. You should really practice being alone so you can figure out what it is that you want to do with yourself, with your life, all of that. Sometimes, people are scared to be alone because they don't really love themselves, and they need those people around for validation. You should be able to love yourself no matter what it is, whether you're alone or not. Nothing should change. You should be able to do this. Woo, I look good. Man, you looking good today. Put that back on. But you see what I'm saying? You should be able to, love yourself. Wake up in the morning and love yourself. You should be able to do that. And you should be able to be alone. And I'm not saying that don't have friends. That's not what I'm saying at all. Please, by all means, you need your friends. But when it comes to you being alone is you spending time focusing on what you want to focus on, your goals, your ambitions, figuring out what your drive is, whether you need to spend time getting a massage, getting a haircut, or, getting your nails done, whatever it is that you need to do, working out, whatever it is that you need to do for for yourself, you need to do it alone. And I mean, you can do these things with people, but what I'm saying is, a lot of people chase happiness through people. You need to chase your happiness within yourself. Don't go chasing your happiness in other people, because that is going to lead you to a very dark place. It has done that to me. I've done that. I've chased people pretty much for the first 20-something years of my life, and it has gotten me nowhere, because it took me to a place where I didn't know who I was, because I was getting so mixed into all these different souls instead of focusing on my own. Let me go over the loneliness real quick. Loneliness is when you're not happy with yourself. So when you're by yourself alone, you just feel lonely. You feel lonely no matter, you just by yourself, you feel lonely. And what I mean is, say you just in the house chilling and you just feel lonely, like you want to be around someone. That's a loneliness, and it's not a good feeling. I felt loneliness. this before. It's not a good feeling. Feeling like nobody loves you, nobody wants to be around you. Sometimes it might just be the energy that you have. Sometimes you just need to get out of that energy that you have up inside of you. You need to get away from that energy and 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 make it better somehow. What ends up happening when you are lonely, you start settling for relationships that you really don't want to be in. You start um, worried about everybody's opinion. You start hanging out with bad friends, or just you start hanging around the wrong crowd just because you can't find the people that you feel like you need to be around. So you'll settle for hanging out with anybody. My thing is, I feel like people who look at people who are loners as losers, they're the ones that's the losers, because they probably don't know what it's like being a loner. And being a loner doesn't make it just you. Some people just don't like being around people like that. I'm one of those people who really don't like being around a lot of people. I have no problem with having company or things like that. It's just that I like to spend a lot of my time alone because it helps me. It drives me to figure out what I want to do in life, instead of me sitting around just talking to friends who really don't have the same vision as me. You're gonna have friends who don't have the same vision as you. So when you have these type of friends, you can't really talk about your visions around them because they don't have the same vision. So when you're with them, you're not focusing on the goals or the visions that you wish to achieve. So you want to change that up. I'm not saying not hang out with your friends. I'm saying value that time alone, so you're not with your friends all the time and you're not wasting time not planning what you should be doing. Honestly, being a loner is just you hanging out by yourself. That's all it is. It's you hanging out by yourself. That's what it is. You should look at it like that. You know, I'm hanging out with myself today. I'm gonna just cool out, hang out with myself, get myself together, get my energy together, get myself together. You know what I mean? You ain't gotta worry about all that extra stuff, hanging out with people and not protecting your energy. Because sometimes you hang around people who drain your energy. You want to protect your energy at all times. I got some pros. I got some cons of being a loner. It helps build character. It helps build discipline. And the reason why it helps build discipline is because it helps you stop bad habits, because you're in control. You're telling yourself things that you should and you shouldn't be doing. And when you're alone, you don't have nobody to argue that with. You have nobody to try to combat what you want to do positive for yourself with something that could be negative or just not the best choice. It's easier to combat peer pressure when you're just spending time alone or when you're a loner. It's not like, you know, when you're out with your friends, sometimes it's going to be some peer pressure when it, whether it's coming to drinking or if it's doing drugs. Who knows? You know, just sometimes when you're with your friends, you may make bad decisions, you may not. But the thing is, when you're a loner, it gives you that feeling inside that, okay, I know myself. I know that I don't want to do anything like that. And so you can just ignore the peer pressure that your friends are trying to put up on you or your peers. And that's, to me, that's a good thing. Denying peer pressure that is bad, that is a good thing. It's easier to find your calling. It's easier to stay focused on your own goals. And the reason why I say that is because when you're focused on your own goals, you're not worried about what everybody else has going on or anything like that. You know, it may take away from your social life a little bit, but hey, them goals is more important. The cons, sometimes loners really don't have that many friends, so they start to realize I don't have many friends. So, I mean, some people trip about it, some people don't. I'm one of those people that don't trip about it. Sometimes I do think, man, I wish I had some friends to hang out with, but all of my real friends, they're either married, they have kids, or they live in a different state. A lot of people who are loners, they end up being introverts sometimes. There's nothing wrong with being an introvert. because people look at sometimes people look at introverts as weird, um, and they look at introverts as people who don't like to talk. Introverts don't have no problem talking. In my opinion, introverts just hate wasting breath saying useless things when they can just keep those useless things in their head. People are gonna think you weird when you're a loner. People, I don't know why being a loner is looked at as a loser. It's not the fact. It's not the fact that people can't make friends. Some people just don't like to make friends or have that many people in their circle because sometimes friends aren't the most reliable people. They don't show the best support. All of my friends, they don't show me the best support. They don't. I mean, not to call my friends out or anything. I love my friends or the people I consider friends, but they don't show you. They not always gonna be there, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just they got stuff going on in their life too, and you gotta realize that. So don't look at don't look at being a loner. Don't look at it as you're a loser because people don't see you hanging out with other people. Get that feeling of people's perspective of you being alone. Get that out of your head. Get out of your head. Don't worry about that. Just do what you're doing and strive for them goals. You can make all the friends when you start getting the money or when you get to where you want to go. When you're pursuing your passion, you really shouldn't even be too much worried about hanging out with friends like that. You should be trying to get to them goals. The friends will come after. Matter of fact, not after. The friends are going to come in the pursuit of chasing the purpose and the goals and things like that. That's where the real friends are going to come in at. They're not going to be the ones that's been there with you from day one. There are some good loyal day ones who have the vision that you have or who's trying to see you get to where you want to go, but it's not all like that. It's not. So keep that in mind. Being alone is not a loser. Loneliness might be a loser because that person doesn't know how to deal with being alone. A person who's dealing with loneliness needs to learn how to figure out what's going on inside of themselves, inside of here, and what's going on inside of here, and they need to figure that out. And once they figure that out, they're gonna learn how to deal with being alone. And once they learn how to with being alone, learn how to be happy with themselves alone, then that's when they can go pursue those relationships and those friendships to where, if something don't go right and they have to be alone again, it's not gonna hurt them. People are feeling hurt just because they are not in a relationship or if they don't get the attention that they feel like they want. We've got to stop that. I'm going to stop trying to say me and I. I'm going to try to start saying we because it is us, the world, the people in the world. We need to be getting to the bottom of these things such as being alone and worried about what other people think of us. We should just be focused on ourselves, and once we get that together, we can help others. You can do them both at the same time, which is what I'm trying to do because I just like trying to grow. I got a story to tell. I actually got 2 stories to tell that I got coming up. One is about me being alone, and one is about me dealing with loneliness. And I'm going to bring that to you guys soon. Just stay tuned. Like, comment, subscribe. Matter of fact, hold on. No. I want you to comment under below a time when you felt you were dealing with loneliness or a time where you realized that you hanging out by yourself or you being by yourself is okay. I'll see y'all next time. Buku!